I am totally not filming this video on like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but it's all good. Let's go!
I can't slow down, shouting loud, got me running red lights. Oh, I just can't get you out of my mind.
Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, after a pretty decent amount of time of waiting, we are finally going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron. And this was one of the figures that after we got the 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime, everyone wanted their hands on, because the 86 Optimus was amazing. But how does 86 Megatron compare to it being the Leader Class instead of a Commander? Well, let's dive into that and find out. Alrighty, and to start off with, here is the packaging. So here is the front, side, other side, the bottom with the barcode, the top, and the back of the packaging, which has the bio reading, Megatron and the Decepticons prepare to mount a surprise attack on Autobot City. And with that out of the way, here we are with Megatron, the figure that we had all been waiting for ever since we got Commander Class Optimus Prime. And I ain't gonna lie to you, he looks fantastic. And so taking a closer look here at his detailing, as you can see, they did a splendid job with the detailing on this guy. They got all the little details perfectly, and he looks fantastic, especially by the fact he has literally no backpack. He looks phenomenal. Now, I have heard people complain about the legs, but to be honest, I'm not even that bothered by them. It looks fantastic, and he feels fantastic. For his articulation, you do have a ball joint at the head, allows him to look up that far, look down that far, as well as side to side. You do get a full rotation at the arm. I almost forgot about this, but you do actually have a butterfly joint. Arm moves out, swivel here. You get a bend at the elbow going a little bit past 90 degrees. You do get a full wrist swivel, and you do actually have articulated fingers. These two are, or I guess these three are on the same hinge joint, but this one, the pointer finger, is on its own little piece right there. You get a full-on waist swivel. That's a little loose for my liking. The leg can kick up that far, the leg can kick back that far, and out to about 90 degrees. These flap joints, or I guess these skirt joints, are on a hinge joint, as well as being able to fold up for the transformation and also for better articulation. You can have them out like this, but that just kind of feels a little too wide for me, so I prefer to keep them back here to kind of make them a little more thin. You get a swivel at the thigh, a very solid bend at the knee. You get a little bit of up and down at the foot. As you can see, the foot can go really high up, but it can't really go back. Then finally, you get an excellent pivot, but it does kind of untab the leg, so you got to watch out for that. And there we are with Megatron's articulation, and I'm not gonna lie, he's putting Optimus through some competition, as these two have amazing articulation, and I honestly don't know whose is better. Now, for his accessories, these two pieces did come off the figure, being his barrel for the tank mode and his fusion cannon. And of course, you can just plug in the fusion cannon into his arm, and you can plug on the little piece onto his back to give him that full, accurate Megatron feel. And I love the fusion cannon. I love the back piece. It just makes him look that much more complete. And I've heard people complain about the fusion cannon, but I'm honestly not even that against it. And then for his next accessory, you do get his laser sword that he did use to brutally beat Optimus Prime. And the way you attach it is simple as always. You just take the hands, you bring them out, and then just like Megatron is Prime with this machete, you do have to actually plug it in like that, and then just wrap the fingers around it like so. And yeah, you can have him hold the sword he used to beat down Optimus Prime. Now, for you G1 fans, I'm sure a lot of you are very upset by the fact that he can't transform into the gun mode, and for legal reasons that obviously makes sense, but Hasbro decided to go a little bit of a further step and give us his actual gun mode. And just like with the blade, or I guess the laser sword, you just have to open up his hand, and boom, if you really wanted to, you could have him hold himself, which I think is kind of funny. I like that. And so that pretty much does it for his accessories, but what about his scaling? Well, here is Megatron next to the TF1 Optimus and Megatron, Voyager Class Primer Prime, Leader Class Megatronus Prime, 86 Deluxe Class Bumblebee, and finally,
I would have waited an eternity for this.
the 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. And these two look so good together. Like, oh my gosh, they look so good. This is amazing, and this honestly was worth the year wait. And so with that out of the way, let's now go to Megatron's transformation. And to be honest, it's a bit of an interesting transformation. I've done this a couple of times, and it's honestly a lot of fun. So let's go. And there we go. There we are with Megatron in his tank mode. And honestly, I like it. It reminds me of like a fusion between like Devastation and Combiner Wars, which I think works super well for this design. And I think they made the good choice of having him turn into a tank, because this looks amazing. Getting a bit closer into him, as you can see, he just looks fantastic. He looks amazing. The back is admittedly a bit of a mess, but I think it's honestly manageable if you try not to focus on it too much. And I love the incorporation of the cannon. This was one of the major problems I had with Megatronus, as his fusion cannon never really stayed in a place, but with this one, you can actually fully raise it and articulate it without worrying about this piece falling off, because this is pretty solidly tapped in. I wish that Megatronus had done this as well, but that is of course just me. And of course, if you want to store the accessories on there, over here you can take the gun, plug it into there, and then you can take the blade, plug it into there, or there are of course these little plugs for here, so you can just go ahead and plug it in like so. They are options if you like them, but personally I just prefer to keep the weapons off, as I like having the vehicle mode. But that about does it for me, guys. Let's go into my overall thoughts, and I'll let you guys know what I think of this figure. And there we go, guys. That is my full look at Megatron. So what are my overall thoughts? Pros, he looks and feels fantastic. There are a couple of loose areas here and there, but it's not honestly terrible. Like it's just like a little more than I would prefer, or a little less, I guess, in terms, but he looks fantastic. He looks like the G1 show. He feels fantastic. His articulation is so similar to 86 Optimus, which I'm really glad they actually did that. I'm really glad about that. Like, I feel like that giving him the 86 Prime treatment was the best choice in terms of articulation. The accessories are also fantastic. The fusion cannon, the barrel going onto his back for recreating the little piece that he had on the back of his, well, back. The laser sword and the gun, I think they all work fantastic. I do kind of wish he came with the mace, though, since Optimus came with the axe, and he never used the axe in the 86 movie, I think. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. And also, the transformation is really, really fun. Like, I enjoyed the transformation a lot. I was very surprised. They did a couple of things I wasn't expecting, and I'm all for it. And the tank mode, although the back is a little clunky, or at least a little, like, off with the blue, I still think it looks fantastic. And as I said in my review, it reminds me of like a mix between like Combiner Wars and Devastation, which I really love that. I love the effect that they kind of like fuse those two together to make this. I think they did a pretty good job. If I had to point out any cons, obviously some points are a little more loose than I would prefer, but they're not like over the top loose. The legs, when they're in robot mode, whenever you're posing them, they do sometimes struggle to stay tabbed in, which can get a little annoying. And obviously the miscoloring on the tank mode when it came to the back. But all those are minor critiques, honestly. It's still a fantastic figure. But if I had to rank this guy on a scale between 1 to 10, I think I'd have to give him a very solid 9.5 out of 10. This guy is just, he's so close to perfection. He's literally on par with 86 Optimus. But who do I think they did better? To be perfectly honest, I still think that 86 Optimus holds the title barely. I think this guy came so close to beating him. If he had came with the mace, I feel like that alone would have been able to beat Optimus, to have like that same, like that opposite weapon. And maybe if he was like a little more sturdy with the posability, like it didn't feel as like loose in certain areas, he'd be able to beat out 86 Optimus. But that's not to say he's a bad figure. He is still fantastic. He's one of the highlights of this year already, and we're like barely halfway through the year. Holy crap, that's crazy. Like, I still highly recommend you guys grab him if you find him and you have the money for him. 100% I'd recommend you grab him. He is fantastic, and he's a standout in any collection. But with that, guys, that marks the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on 86 Megatron? And until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll catch you on the flip side. Till all are one.
Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. This is Optimus endorsing Thundermus Prime. It's prime time.